Hello. So using a Kaatsu machine in order to stimulate your body to produce the chemistry to build muscle is what I'm going to show you. These are Kaatsu Bands. These look and feel a little bit like blood pressure cuffs. You apply them. This is the right hand side. You apply them. I've already got it attached to my Kaatsu Master machine. You apply them thus, preferably over clothing, and I'm just going to contract my biceps a little bit and then tighten it. This secures with Velcro so that I can put one finger down inside the cuff, but I struggle to put two fingers inside. So that's roughly tight enough. The other cuff goes on just the same. Okay, so there they are. The machine is already set up for me, so I've got some pre-programmed information here in the machine, in the device. So I'm going to just set up one of my programs and get the machine to inflate the cuffs. So these cuffs have now inflated. I can feel a little bit of pressure, a bit like a blood pressure cuff, around my upper arm. I can check by doing a simple capillary refill test on my hand to see whether it's too tight. I can squeeze just around the little squidgy bit at the bottom of my thumb. So I'm squeezing the blood out of this area, and then when I let it go, I can see that it pinks up again nice and quickly within 3 seconds. On the other side, same thing. So within 3 seconds, what was white because I'd squeezed the blood flow away becomes pink once more. Now I'm going to detach myself from the machine so that I can retain the inflation in the cuff, but I don't have to be standing here in the corner attached to it all the time. So all I need to do is remove these little tubes. And there. I'm ready to exercise free from the machine. So I've retained the pressure that had built up in the arm. You can see my veins, which are usually fairly prominent anyway. You can see that they're sticking out a little bit because I'm getting this pressure. I can feel that familiar pressure that you would have with a blood pressure test in my arms. And all you need to do, you can go up to 30% of the maximum weight that you could push, pull, lift with the Kaatsu Bands on. But all I really need to do is to work the muscles here. And I can do something as light as squeeze this racquetball, just repeatedly squeezing it. So I'm putting work into the muscles. And as I do that, because I've only got a limited amount of oxygen supply coming in, I've still got blood flow into my arm. It would be dangerous to have that completely occluded or cut off. And that's the unique thing about these cuffs, is that they don't do that. They allow arterial blood still to come in, but not quite as much as was there before. So the fast twitch muscle fibers that rely on, the slow twitch muscle fibers that rely on oxygen to be supplied to them to maintain endurance over time, they begin to run out of oxygen. They use it all up, use the available oxygen up, and they then hand over to the fast twitch muscle fibers, which don't need oxygen. They burn glucose, and Those fast twitch muscle fibers are what are often responsible for producing that lactic acid burn sensation in your muscles, and I can start to feel that happening now. I can start to feel the fatigue building up in these muscles as the lactate builds, and that's what you want. That's what you want to happen with this. Is it comfortable? Not entirely, but it's no more uncomfortable than tired muscle. Okay, so I can do that for as long as possible until I really can't do it anymore, and I'm starting to run out now of the capacity to keep squeezing on this ball. Ideally, if you were using 20 to 30% of your maximum, your 1 repetition maximum weight, you would perhaps do about 30 repetitions on the first set, perhaps fewer on the second set, and fewer still on the third set, because that fatigue and that lactic acid is building up and it can't get out. You can't return that lactic filled blood to the rest of the body because the cuff is here. So what else could we do? We could use a very lightweight elastic band, and we could perform some sort of biceps curl with that, or we could use, this is just a 2 kilogram dumbbell, we could use the dumbbell for biceps curls. The idea is just to get work into these muscles to produce that lactate reaction. We could do it using a triceps extension. Anything really that you want to, you just bring the load, the intensity of the exercise down within whatever is tolerable for you. It's great if you're starting from a very low base. If you're quite frail, then you really don't need to use much. You don't even need to use any of this kit. You could just grip, extend, grip, extend, and work your muscles. Because of the restriction in blood flow, you will get that lactic buildup. Once you've finished your workout, so you might do 3 rounds, 3 sets of 2, 3, 4 exercises, no more than 15 minutes of total exercise time. You just connect up. I suppose you could just take them off. I tend to connect them up, and as soon as I do that, then the pressure is released from the bands. So that's it in a nutshell. That's the basic workout version of Kaatsu. Very lightweight, low intensity of exercise. It's great if you've got an injury. I did this first of all, the very first time I ever used Kaatsu was when I broke my wrist, and I was training for a kettlebell certification at the time, and was using some fairly high weights, some fairly big weights. Couldn't do it, couldn't use those weights. Felt that I couldn't train at all. But with Kaatsu, I was able to do very low intensity exercise for a few weeks and maintain a good degree of my muscle mass because of the biochemical effects that happen when you take those cuffs off, and all of that lactic that's built up, that lactic acid that's built up in your arm muscles in this instance, you can do it on your legs as well, floods back into the rest of your body. Your brain receives the messages from those chemicals and produces growth hormone, insulin growth factor, BDNF, those sorts of chemicals that are really important for blood vessel growth and development, muscle fiber growth and development, and the maintenance of your mental acuity. That's the BDNF, the brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So all sorts of benefits, and it's very simple. I hope you found that interesting, and if you'd like more information, give us a call at the clinic. If you'd like to have a go, give us a call at the clinic, make an appointment, and see if it's for you.